Moited. You can see the motorcade now heading out from State House. Those are live pictures only here on Citizen TV. CS Betty Maina was speaking earlier on and saying that the expansion of markets for Kenyan products is one of the biggest achievements in her docket. They were all lined up at State House earlier on to go and speak to the president on the final Madaraka day before he exits in 69 days when the elections will be held on the 9th of August. So they were saying what has been achieved in their different dockets. So CS Betty Maina spoke about securing the market in Britain after Brexit, expansion of the export processing zones, industrial output, she says that has also increased. Earlier on, the CS for Interior, Dr. Fred Matiang'i, who also served as the CS for Education, also gave an account of what he believes are the greatest moments and the greatest achievements in his current docket, which is the Interior and Security. He says that challenging times, but also exciting times. It's mentioned that there was a strengthening of the security and creating confidence in the people. He did admit, though, that terrorism still remains a threat, but he mentioned that they are ready for any security challenges. He also mentioned the registration of persons being improved so far and having different stations where people can now get their passports within one day. He also highlighted the employment of security police officers. He said that there were more than 10,000 every year, and in the 10 years now, that could add up to about 100,000 police officers. He said that the number of police officers to persons being guarded has reduced, the ratio has reduced vastly from 1 to 900 to 1 to 600. He says this only happened during this regime. It is almost a showcasing of what the president has managed to achieve in his 10 years tenure as the head of state. And it is expected that also during this Madaraka Day, he will speak about those achievements himself during the Madaraka Day that is happening at the Uhuru Gardens. This should be through the State House Road as they're heading straight to Uhuru Gardens, where the celebrations for Madaraka Day is happening right now as we speak. CS Peter Munya for Agriculture, who also served as under trade, said that it is a time when they've changed the lives of farmers, thereby expanding trade and dealing with the bottlenecks. He also mentioned that the locust invasion was one of the biggest challenges that faced the agricultural industry, but mentioned that they've managed to deal with it and form a precedence in the country as well. But he also mentioned that the returning or reforms in the tea sector that increased its earnings by almost close to 10 billion shillings was one of the greatest achievements that he achieved during his time there as a CS. Most of them, and this is now the transition because it is the final time they'll be there as CSs in those particular dockets. It's not clear what formation will look like after this. But there's a transition government coming through on the 9th of August. There'll be a change of guard there. And that's the reason why the president, speaking to them earlier on, had thanked them for the service and also mentioned that he has steered the country in the right direction for prosperity. Over at the Uhuru Gardens, there are quite a number. The guard of honor is already there waiting to receive the president. The NMS boss was seen there earlier on. The service commanders have already arrived. The deputy president is also there. It's a delegation of about 30,000 people waiting for this final day. They were speaking earlier on to our teams on the ground, saying that one of the reasons why they're there today is because this happens to be the last Madaraka Day celebrations for the head of state. So this is how the itinerary looks like. There were really no roads that were closed heading out to the center. Like we mentioned, the Uhuru Gardens, there were no roads that were closed. That was announced by the National Police Service. They only mentioned that movement of traffic along the old roads leading to Uhuru Gardens will not be disrupted unless just temporarily, like right now, they're probably distracted because the head of state is heading there. As you can see, the entourage getting into the CBD as they head to the Uhuru Gardens, where vehicles will be diverted accordingly, they said. But they also, in the statement sent out by the National Police Service, they said that vehicles with red stickers will be ushered to the Uhuru Gardens through Gate 3, and the spillover will be guarded to the parking or to Chumi supermarket there. But other vehicles will proceed along Langata Link Road, drop visitors at the Carnival Link Road junction, and will be guided for parking at the Carnival ground. So if you're heading anywhere there right now, this is probably the point where you stop because the traffic flow will be interrupted as the head of state makes his way from Kenyatta Avenue heading straight to the Uhuru Gardens. But earlier on, there were no diversions of vehicles in any shape or form. That's according to the statement sent in by the National Police Service. They also mentioned that the rest of the vehicles will drop visitors at the same junction, then proceed to Swaminarayan Temple. And also that was the arrangement that made earlier on. You can see the movement at the Kenyatta Avenue has now been disrupted as the head of state heads straight to the Uhuru Gardens, where he's expected to officiate the 59th Madaraka Day officially. They also mentioned that there's adequate police officers who are deployed to guide all motorists and ensure the free flow of traffic, and from the venue all the way to the end. They also said motorists are being urged to exercise caution and obey traffic laws at all times. Stern action will be taken against any offenders. You can see them underneath the expressway there on Uhuru Highway, heading straight to Uhuru Gardens, where the last Madaraka Day celebrations will be happening. More than 30,000 people are already there as we speak. So let me run you through how the program is looking like. It is actually bang on time because it's almost just 3 minutes to 11. The president himself was expected to arrive at the Uhuru Gardens at around 10:55. They've just missed it by a whisker there. So the president will arrive maybe